Hey everybody, and welcome to another Binary Ninja live stream. I'm Jordan, and I've got a special surprise. Well, I got a couple of special surprises this week, and it's gonna take me a second here to set up the capture. But if I do it right, we should have. There we go. We got
Hello.
Rusty joining us. Awesome. So, and Rusty, this is your first time on stream, I think, right? Oh, you've been on like some of the
Yeah.
group ones where you had like the launch party,
Yeah, I
maybe.
was on launch party ones. I haven't been on this one.
Yeah, so I'm excited because I think one of my ulterior motives is to get all the Vectorites on stream, and so it's a good excuse for folks to meet people. See, yeah, see, we already got a CC in the chat that says, "Finally, we got Rusty," all caps. Exactly. So let me know if y'all can hear Rusty okay. Um, and the other special surprise, which isn't a surprise because we advertised it, but we're going to show off the 3.0 UI changes. Before we get to that, first I'm just going to talk about, because, you got to like build up the suspense. But I'm going to come over here and let's see. Oh, I think I have to update. Does this one have... I think I just do this, right? Yeah, there we go. I got Rusty on cam now too. Um, I Before we show off the prototype, first I was just going to go over the 3.0 kind of plan. So we did 2.4 last week was our big review of all of the new 2.4 features, and there were a ton of stuff that made that. But we kind of like those were only like half. Is actually, you know what it reminds me of is the Minecraft Caverns and Caves update. So if you follow Minecraft, they did 117, and then they've got 118, and they're like part one and part two of the Caverns and Caves update. But they did these two major releases. And I actually saw an interview where they were asking someone, like, why it used to be one release, one major, like, push of features. And they're like, well, we decided there were so many features that each one deserved its own major release. And I was like, that's exactly what we did. Like, we were going to do a 3.0, and then some of the features weren't going to make it in that initial release, so we made it a
Except
2.4. Yeah.
except that they don't seem to want to go to 2.0 for some
And they're
reason.
really avoiding hard that major bump. I know. I don't know why they're like, I feel like after a while it's
I think
like,
it has some legacy from the alpha days where they said like updates forever on version 1 or something like that.
oh, that's an interesting idea. Yeah, so if they go to 2.0, they might want to charge people or something. People expected it, so that would make sense. Yeah, we actually debated that internally too. Even at Vector 35, when we first were pricing Binary Ninja, debating like how do you price it and how do you sell it. And we in the end, I'm really happy with our like you just get a year. It doesn't matter what we call it, what version number we put on it, because I think it's a little hard when you try to do it by like major release cycle. So I'm happy with our plan. Although we are kind of planning on doing a major release a year is sort of our internal kind of roadmap. We're not going to hold ourselves to it exactly, but we think three or four minor ones for every major one makes a lot of sense. So what we're looking at here are our updated 3.0 features. So you can actually see we're already 26% complete. We've got a lot of things tagged for 3.0 that are already done. And that's not counting all of the 2.4 features that we was originally all part of that kind of mega 3.0. I think some of the highlights, obviously the big one here, and the reason Rusty's on the stream is to show off the user interface. Looking for the is it UI refactor? I forget what we called it. UI enhancements. Oh, what a like that name does not convey the the value of what this update's going to be. But this is like really a really big set of improvements. And what we're going to show off today is it's just a very small like kind of early peak, right? There's still lots of work left to be done. In fact, we were talking. It's quite likely like this is what Rusty works on throughout the entire 3.0 release period, like this next entire
There's a
kind of.
lot of assumptions that we've made to the old design, and we're
Yep.
unraveling all of those and rethinking a lot of APIs.
Changing a lot of stuff like how could this look better, how could the feature map look better, how could the mini map work better, and not just like stick it kind of in a dock widget. There's a bunch of stuff that, yeah, I think will be good to do. And we also there's a bunch of like little like UI related nitpicks where like, oh, that'll come with a 3.0 refactor. So like there's this big pile of like stuff that is all kind of related. So this just has like a couple of the notes, but really it does not encompass, I think, a lot of what's going to come on it. So we can talk about that more when we show off the preview. I think some of the other big ones are improved type. Actually, you know what? We can we sort by? Oh, that's funny. In this view, you can't actually sort by thumbs up. I was gonna see if we can sort them and see which ones are the most highly ranked. But I think stack view is definitely one of the top ones. Um, I'm curious. Do you have any other favorites, Rusty? That I mean, well, analysis passes.
Analysis
Yeah,
passes for sure.
that's gonna be massive. I think a lot of people are excited for decompile to see. Internally, we're kind of like meh on it. Like yeah, okay, like we'll do it. Um, but analysis passes, man. That is gonna be like that's gonna be really good. The other way you can just look at this because we're doing all these tags. Look at all like the impact high. So type library improvements impact high, stack view impact high, UI impact high, single function linear view. A lot of people really want analysis passes, just off the chart impact. Decompile to C again. We may not use it, but we recognize a lot of other people do. Um, there's a lot of like high impact stuff that's coming. So this is really gonna be a good update. And not to take away from 2.4, which was also really good as well. So I'm kind of stalling a little bit because I wanna see, are people actually excited? Do we have people in chat that are here like really ready for 3.0, or are you a little nervous? Because I feel like it's a little bit like Microsoft unveiling the ribbon. Like people are like, no, don't change
Or
our UI.
even Windows 11, like that's pretty recent, and people, there's a lot of debate going on the UI changes.
Yep. Yeah. Like, did they steal the right things from Apple? Is basically the question everyone's asking, or did they steal the wrong things? Well, I saw somebody say something on Twitter about they need to have a statue in the middle of Microsoft that's like this plaque, this like teach people don't move the start like menu. Like this is a lesson enshrined, and all the old generation developers will teach the new ones. Um, but all right, so let's bring up the actually just split it out here. So here is one of our test builds, and so it is like I said, very very early. So obviously, hopefully, if you're watching the stream, you're familiar that we have a dev development channel, and so you can get our dev builds. I'm going to clear my recent list just because if you're using a non-collaboration URL, it looks really big. Makes the layout look a little bit prettier that way. And so, everybody can get access to our features just about as soon as we've got them kind of ready. Like we make those available, and a lot of users do run just our development builds. But the test branches are for like really experimental stuff or for features that are like not complete. And so you'll notice that like, all right, this doesn't look all that different. I mean, I guess I do have these logs, so that's just the layout that I've been using down here. This isn't actually anything different or the standard stuff, but
Yeah, those haven't been touched yet.
not yet. So that's coming. But over here is where things start to look a little bit changed, right? So this is the side panel sidebar. What are we gonna? What's the official name of like just the icons? Do we have a? Well, if we have,
I think they're just called sidebar widgets at this point in the
okay.
code. We don't
Yeah.
have an official name yet.
So I don't know what I typed there, but my machine's a little. There we go. So if I bring open any of the files I've got and hit this, this is the first big difference, right, in the UI refactors. Instead of having, actually, let me bring up the current rather development build and open the same file, and you'll see. So that so the current mode is you have dock widgets just sort of docked around the edge, and you can do things like split them and have sliders kind of between them, and have even tabs, so you can have multiple dock widgets in the same place, or you can move them. So you have all three of these tabs. So you have a lot of flexibility. But like,
But if you want to just get everything out of the way and look at the code, you got to
right,
close all
yeah,
the dock widgets
go find those X's,
individually,
close them all down, or you could use the command palette, or you can maybe kind of script it up a little bit. And we do have the saved
or the new
layouts.
saved window layout
Yeah.
feature.
So I can load, like I do have a minimal save layout, and then but I had to set all that up, right? I have to find the layouts that I want, and then I can see where's my dual is my other one. Remember the name of that, which actually is good because I put my cross references back. I've never really liked. We were talking about this, like when the UI is too customizable. I don't want to like ever customize it because it just feels like I never get it perfect, and I just want it to like work out of the box. And so I just don't tweak UIs. I tweak my command line console a bunch, but like UIs that are really like widget based, I just kind of want it to all work. So that's really what we're going for. And we've said this several times. Oops, not the wrong folder. Um, we definitely take a lot of design cues from Visual Studio Code. It certainly uh, doesn't work for all reasons, and there's definitely times where a design decision they make doesn't apply to us. But I think they have just a lot of really nice, clean elements and ideas, and so we certainly take inspiration where it makes sense. And of course, that's very very similar if you look at the side panel there to the ones we've got here. Although I do notice ours are a little smaller in size.
Well, we're probably going to have a lot more of them is the reason why they're smaller.
Yeah,
Because plugins can add them. You're probably going to have a bunch of plugins that have them.
I'm already writing two plugins that I know are going to have one. I think my notes plugin's going to have one. Snippets will probably have one. So yeah, I agree. And this is also like just still kind of in testing too. Yeah, Visual Binary Ninja Studio says Josh. So it functions much the same. So we've got the one I currently have open is highlighted. I can select and switch between them, or I can just click it again to turn it off. This the one though, Rusty. Like talk about this one a little bit because I think this is one you were most
Yeah,
excited to
so one
improve.
of my biggest pain points with using Binary Ninja over the years has been when you need to make a structure, it's kind of a pain. You have to switch over to the types view, do your structure, then try to navigate back to where you were,
Yeah. So the old ways I'm
or
like
make a new
here.
tab
So let's
or
go
something like
here,
that.
do the thing. Hit create member. Go back and look at it. Does that look good? Oh
Yeah,
no, double click it again or hit T, or you can split to a new window.
yeah.
Yeah. But this,
It's my least favorite workflow in Binary Ninja, and this fixes it.
oh, look at that. Let's just create some members here for these structures. And the other thing I like about it is it defaults to user types now. It's also on dev if you're not on dev. Even the other types view does that. The filter, the folding, these were all like 2.4 features too. Exactly, Josh. Josh is excited. Um, this dedicated types view I think is super nice. And it's not to say you can't also have a full types view if you want to look at something here. Um, you
And
know,
so that the main area over on the right, that will be if you want to know what our inspiration is, it would be tiling window managers. So you'd be able to have multiple views over there that are synced between each other, and you can do a whole bunch of basically have a little window manager over there.
So what we do now with the reflection dock widget, for example, which again I'm like fighting with it, right? This is part of what I don't like about dock
Yeah,
widgets.
this is
It's
part of the
like,
problem.
oh, I want my
Getting the
dock
layout
widget
you want is almost impossible.
right there, and then I want to make this one narrow. So like that, that's why we're really looking to make this a little more structured.
So instead of reflection view, that the code behind it is very important, but we're getting rid of reflection view and replacing it with something that makes a lot more sense, which is just split my view into two, and the other one can be disassembly, one can
Yep.
be graph or whatever you want, and they can sync between each other. And that'll just be the default out of the box way of doing it.
Yeah, and you want to do a vertical split, you want to do a horizontal split. Those kind of again, that's where like that
Or
tiling window manager comes in.
split vertically and
Yep.
then on the right split horizontally
Yep.
or whatever
So maybe I
you
want high low layout over here, and then
need.
just do assembly and low low layout on top of another on the side. Yeah, those, and then sync them all together, and you can even still have room
and
for your types.
and hopefully we'll be able to do something like tearaway sections where you can bring that into a tab,
Yeah, and part of the
or
reason,
bring it into a new window so you
ex-
can put it on a different monitor or
exactly, yeah,
that kind of thing.
yeah. Multi-monitor is another one of our use cases that we want to make sure we really enable for people that have regularly use two screens where they want to like set up a nice layout. That's definitely going to be a thing that we're gonna focus on. Um, we'll see what happens with minigraph. We were brainstorming some really cool ideas. I'm really curious if those kind of work out. I think minigraph was sort of like honestly just like, oh, other tools have this feature, like we can just throw it on and it's fine. But I actually don't find it all that useful for a lot of things. It's either too small or too big. Like there's never doesn't provide much value. So we'll see maybe in a future preview some more interesting stuff with that. But I'm actually curious if any of the folks in chat have feedback or ideas too, because if you have like UI changes, like now is the time to do it. We really kind of want to be able to use major version increments, and that actually goes for API changes too. So there are going to be a few breaking API changes. Thanks, Brindley. Yay, Brindley likes it. So yeah, you can see the tags, strings, and
Another thing you'll notice is the search bars at the top of some of these. They all haven't been refactored, but there's always a search bar. You can always hit Command F
that
on
was
Mac
that
or
was one of
Control
our
F.
big lessons learned on the symbol list here is that nobody knows that you can just type here. Like that's super not intuitive, right? Like it's a nice feature, it works well, but it's impossible to find. So nobody knows that you could just start typing, put a couple of keywords, and filter down, a long list of symbols. And so yeah, that is definitely significantly better, and it doesn't even take any more room. So Rusty's got it really nicely designed so that you've got the name up top, and you've also got this menu because again,
A lot of people don't know about that one either. You could
yeah,
right click to get that all the time. It's not
yep,
any different than it was.
it just makes it easier to find, and it's still, I think it really still meets our sort of clean aesthetic, right? Like we don't want to overwhelm with too many things, but just trying to figure out which features we need to show, make more obvious. We're really rethinking that now. So I think there will be some other
Like this
buttons
is an
and
example of one that hasn't been refactored at
yeah,
all. That's
clearly this
just
is just
the dock widget
dropped
taken
in.
directly in. We haven't done any design on it.
Yeah, I think talking about this one, something a little more like the splits. Like if you look at how VS Code does these different sections, maybe there's a split section between tags versus bookmarks versus tag types. But we do have some like deviations too, right? So let's look at like for example cross references, right, Rusty? Because you there isn't really an analog as much in VS Code. Like when you switch
Yeah,
a
so cross references is one of those things that you often one up at all times because you're constantly wanting to refer to what used whatever you're clicking. Like if you're in symbols view or you're in types view, you want to click something and see what's referring to it or what it's referring to. And trying to do that such that every pane has to have its own cross references feature was didn't make much sense either. So we have this idea of a split sidebar where you have it's currently called the content area and the reference area. The content area is like the symbols or strings or types or something like that. And at the bottom, you have your reference area. Plugins can add new reference areas if you wanted to, but the default one is, of course, your cross references pane. And you can turn it off with the button, just like you can turn off the main one if you just want a big types view or something like that.
yeah, I of all the decisions we made in the UI early on, I think always having visible cross references is one of my favorite. Like I feel like other tools miss out by not doing that.
So yes, variable references already show up there if you click a variable.
Yep, that's just that's not even a new thing. So I've actually highlighted like the variable here. Where's it? Do I have a better binary? Here we go. It's like the structure, arg1. Yep, all the references are there, and this also has again not yet refactored. This is the old filter view. It's the same as the current one. But the goal is to rethink how these filter boxes work to really make them look a little bit more like the symbolist filter box up here. We're using some icons, some cues like a filter, a search that's built into the header. Why not turn dock widget tabs into left pane tab groups?
I'm not sure what you're asking.
I'm not
Because
either.
basically the sidebar is a big tab group. Like your icons on the left are the tabs effectively.
And I mean,
And basically, if I'm gonna add a compatibility layer, any existing dock widget code that uses the dock widget API should be able to automatically turn into a sidebar
which maybe that's what you're asking, Kyle,
very easily.
with the turn them into left pane groups. Like, yeah, you basically get that. If you have a dock widget, it will work with a new system. You
The
won't have to
API is
rewrite everything.
very, very similar, so it's not too hard to write a wrapper around it.
Yeah, obviously, if you wanted to become like a reference one versus the view one, uh, you might have to make a change. But hopefully, people aren't having to rewrite their dock widget
We'll
plugins.
probably deprecate the dock handler API, but it will work. It will have a compatibility layer for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
We're
Brinley, go ahead.
yeah, we're still debating what to do about if you wanted to bring symbols list onto another screen. Still trying to figure out what to do about that. I kind of like the idea. I'm just not sure how to do it from a UI perspective yet.
Yeah. And Brinley, one of the things that we did say is that multi-monitor is one of our kind of use cases. So we definitely want to support better multi-monitor workflows and layouts, but we also explicitly don't want to make it every window can be everything, and you've got to play a jigsaw puzzle to make everything fit together. Um,
So like if we do it, it will not be a dock widget. It would be something different, like a just a tool window that you can just bring out, but it would not be something you can dock anywhere. It would be either out in its own window or in the sidebar.
yeah, I think just philosophy wise, we tend to come down on the side of a little more structure in our UIs versus just make everything customizable. Um, just because, at least personally, we find it um, actually less helpful when you can do anything, because to actually get something nice takes way too much work for the user. We'd rather just give them something nice that works and has some level of customizability to be able to accommodate a bunch of different workflows, but we'll have a much better kind of out of the box experience. At least that's the theory. That's the goal.
So the major goals is to make the center area, your main content area, making that more flexible actually with the tiling window manager idea to be able to do synced
All
panes
right.
and side by side looking at a binary. Another focus, we really want to make sure multi-monitor works well, because we know a lot of people have multiple monitors and want to use them effectively. And the other thing is to make sure that the sidebar is designed to have all that reference information that you want easily accessible, but being able to get it out of the way quickly when you just want to look at code and focus on the code.
Yeah, I think even if we just had the side type view, for example, or a few of the other side ones that you might want up at the same time, notes and snippets and things like that, where you want to see both instead of just a separate pop-up or a separate dock widget. That
Yeah. There's
uh,
a potential that sidebar widgets could become panes in the content area, depending on what they are, maybe not all of them. Like a pop out button that puts it like side by side on your right area.
yeah,
For example, like search would be a perfect example of one that definitely should support that.
yeah, yeah. So
Because the search bar isn't written yet, because it's not just porting a widget, it's a completely new design.
yeah, that one's
And
going to be a whole new UI.
it will be a persistent search, so you can get results. You can pop it out into a pane and have it there for you to refer to. It can be side by side with the code, so you can click on all your results in it and navigate through the binary easily.
Yeah, and right now when you do the search on the binary, you can click find all and get just this list down. Well, I chose a really bad search, so there wasn't anything, but let's just go find something. We'll find a bunch of. Right, so we have this persistent search, which was an improvement over the previous search, and just kind of find the next thing.
But again, you noticed he had to fiddle with dock widgets to even be able to see it.
Yep, because
And we
it's
want to
it's
make
too
that just
low, and
work.
let's bring it up here, and but
Most of the time, you'll just be doing it in the sidebar. You'll
right.
just type what you want, and then you'll get their persistent results. And you can just click around and navigate.
Yep, look through them this way. instead of you know, in a list of things you want to work through makes more sense in a vertical orientation anyways. So I think it's kind of more natural. But if you were to try to take the search results in the current and be like, oh, I want this to be another tab or another like, so now I've got to switch between my symbol list down here. It's much harder to find a bunch of tabs on this list. But I think that actually, but like this workflow of like selecting search results here is much cleaner than having it down at the bottom. So when that gets migrated over here, I think that'll be really
But
nice.
with doc widgets, it's almost impossible to make that consistent, so it always pops up in the place you want it.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're not fighting like the layout system to try to get things tweaked perfectly. Some of the things that are kind of still in progress, right? You already mentioned, so search is coming, and search will be probably, I think, like the biggest rewrite. Like it'll require the most work to
Yeah,
adapt.
it's basically it's not just porting a widget, it's
Yeah,
making a new widget.
it's just a whole new UI. It'll use the same
A lot
capabilities,
of the
but
time is actually spent in the back end of everything, trying to make sure that, like right now, if you click on a type in the types view in the sidebar, you do not get cross references.
yep,
But that's because the current design of cross references basically assumes that it's not an event based system, it's a polling based system. It just looks for, oh, someone navigated and let's go poll and see
yep.
what the thing you're supposed to refer to is. Well, this is no longer occurring in the main content area. So when you click, it has nowhere to say, this is the new thing you should be focusing on. So you don't get cross references to it. So we have to rethink the way that we implemented some of these features.
And the plan for the console, I know this is still also one of those things that maybe needs more testing, but can you talk a little bit about the log versus console and how those are work? Are they just going to be
Yeah,
bottom dock widgets or?
so no, there when I'm done, I'm hopefully not going to have a single dock widget anywhere
Hmm.
is the plan, because they cause a lot of problems. Like, just I don't know how many times I've had to reset my window layout because the dock widgets did not stay in the same spot, and there's a lot of weird behavior with them.
And it's not just that they don't stay in the same spot; it's that you're like opening and closing new ones all the time, and that's the hard part, right? It's
Yeah,
like keeping it consistent as
I'm
you
pretty
enable
sure
and
that's
disable
what
stuff.
causes it, is
Yeah,
the showing and hiding of them constantly.
yeah, and
So so the Python console and log are what would be known as a global widget. They're always valid. They have their own context. They aren't associated with a particular binary view, which is very important for like a Python console, because you can take an object from one binary and use it in another, which is a very convenient feature.
yeah, I think I've shown that on stream before, like to copy types out of one file and do it to the other. Whereas you've got the exact same Python console. So if I make if I grab a function name from one and then I switch to the other tab, I still have that same function name from the other tab, but now I can do something with it here, or I can copy a type or whatever other thing you wanted to do.
So because those are always, the context for those is always valid, they never disappear on you because you change tabs. Those are going to be in a bottom area. So like we have the sidebar that's always a thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be at the bottom, and it will probably be more flexible than what Visual Studio Code, if you go there, like their terminal
Yeah,
widget down there is an example of something like this.
see this one. That'll work.
Yeah. So there you have, like, you have this bottom pane for things that are always there, but it's tabs only. You can't split them. I'd kind of like to be able to have side by side there.
Yeah, and I think we found that like Python
Because
plus
having the,
log output has been
yeah,
a really
log
nice.
and Python at the
Yeah,
same time is pretty important. So we've got to support that workflow.
yeah.
But it would always be at the bottom.
Sorry, people, for the two people that dragged their Python console to the top of the window, which is actually a thing you can do right now. Although I don't know, I'm actually joking.
Now,
I don't know if anybody ever
there,
would.
I mean, there is a potential that we could allow a setting to say that it's at the top. the
I
global areas at the
yeah.
top, but I don't know. We'll have to see if people actually even want it.
Exactly. I was to say I was mostly joking because like I really don't know if I've ever seen anyone use it that way. And the other key thing is too like all of these different layouts. If you want to support good design and usability and stuff, you have to sort of test all these configurations and you have to have it super flexible if you want to do that, as opposed to having a smaller set of possibilities that are much better designed and much better tested. So
Basically, I want it so that the defaults, when you're just using the product for the first time, the layouts of all the windows are in spots that make sense and you don't feel like you have to fiddle with it.
right, like the out of the box experience. Very much agree, Josh. I mean, or Game Mind. I mean, it is the Python console is tilde, right? You joke about binge a Quake. It's not a coincidence that the tilde hotkey is
I
what
mean,
brings
we've
out the
all we've
console.
all played Quake, so that was just a natural thing.
That's literally where that came from. So yeah, so we could have it like animate and slide in. I don't think that would be very useful, but yeah. So I mean, Josh did say he used it up there just for like projectors running on a screen, um, which is
I
fair.
feel like it's not that hard of a thing
But
to do, so
yeah,
it's something we could support.
but what you don't need is to put it over here, make this wider, bring this up, right? Like there is a level of flexibility you don't need, because it really just makes all the configurations
Yeah,
harder.
like
And
the Python console and log are kind of like they make more sense with a lot of horizontal space. So putting them on the right doesn't make as much sense.
yeah, and I think that's one of the other things we've been talking about too. Is I think the feature map will probably shrink up narrower. So right now our default layout for the feature map, like if I actually reset to the default, actually this is not even the default layout because I've uh, reset with the layout. I've actually remapped that hotkey. So like the default window layout again has the mini graph down here, but it's like too small to actually be useful. When you really want it like
But
to,
it makes the feature map really big,
but it right makes
which is
feature map
not
really big.
usually
Yeah,
what you want.
like this combo is just not. It's not great. Like, and I think the feature map doesn't need to be any wider than this. Almost might even be used to be narrower. And then that gives you more width over on the left side for like your types or for the symbol list or for things where I think the panel might end up taking a little bit more real estate, but we'll see. Like I said, that's still some of that stuff is still in. We're gonna have to try it and see how it works out. Let's see. Did we get all the types of? So search is getting rewritten. Types already has been adapted and added, which is great. Bookmarks.
We may have plugin manager over there, so
Yeah,
you can
that's
see
right.
your list of plugins.
Yeah, I
And
think.
because right now that's a little not discoverable. Well, some people might not even know that exists
Yeah,
because it's not really obvious that there's a manage plugins unless you go looking around in the menus if you're a first time user.
and there's a ton of functionality there. You don't want to hide that. And the list of plugins themselves really naturally fits in the panel, anyways. Maybe the plugin details opens up a
Yeah, it
a
will
main
probably
view,
do
but
it. I mean, if you go to Visual Studio Code,
yeah, it's the same way they do
they
it.
have a pretty sane design for that,
Yeah,
where it just has a tab that
yeah,
opens up in the main area with the description and the install button.
yeah. So I think that naturally like follows some of the same stuff. If you know what you want, you can just filter it, search for it, install it directly. You don't have to really uh, look much into it. But yeah, I think that'll
Now
that'll
they
eventually
have the
follow.
concept of like an ephemeral tab for that, which we might want to introduce, but
Yeah, ephemeral tabs like I have a mixed relationship with. When I first sometimes they'll do ephemeral tabs for like file previews and file opening, and that's really confusing to me. The first couple times I ran into that, I'm like, where did that tab
yeah,
go? And like it was
we
they've
might just end up using like a plugin tab and just not really do ephemeral tabs, but just have a special case for plugins.
yeah, I think that's when you kind of got to like play with. You have to try it and see like when you're using it, what's more natural to install a plugin. And then maybe as soon as you deselect the plugin panel, the view goes away, right? Maybe that's how it happens. I don't know. I'm not sure what the right workflow is. We gotta play with that. So, but yeah, I think that's gonna get moved
But
over.
having it be discoverable is the important thing there.
Yep.
We're really trying to focus on trying to make all of our features discoverable. There's a lot of things that were already there that people just don't know about.
Yeah, I think that's a really good summary of this whole thing. And smoothing some of the workflows. Like you mentioned, the types workflow is just significantly better. Being able to get types in the panel while you're working with it. I mean, saw earlier, like I was able just to click and create these members and see a live update as opposed to going back and forth. That makes a big difference. So search plugins. I'm actually curious to see if we get any third party like reference plugins. Like, do people have other ideas, maybe data flow based or slicing based? Or there could be some interesting
Yeah,
like types things you might want to use this for like the give me some reference information about this the variable that I got selected. That's not just like a cross reference based view, or maybe we end up making some of our own, but some there. So
you
that's
could
it.
even someone could even put a notes thing as a reference area so that it's always there as well. Like there's a lot of things you could do.
That's a good idea. Maybe I'll have to think about that for my Ninja Notes plugin. I'm not set on the name yet, but whatever it is it being called, uh, that's a not a bad place for it because you don't usually I don't think you necessarily need the whole big chunk of text. I don't know. I have to see what people would use it for, but yeah. So looking forward to getting this out. But again, this is like really early. Obviously, this is it's real. It's just not like a screenshot only prototype, but um, looking forward to getting this y'all in y'all's hands. Any other questions from chat from folks that you're curious if there's or something that you don't see on the to-do list for 3.0 that you want? Let us know. Test string. It's very cleverly named. Test underscore string. Yeah, actually, cross reference is not updating for strings over here too. Is another one of
Yeah,
those. Yeah,
anything on the sidebar, it
makes
doesn't
sense.
update cross references because of the way that
Yeah.
cross references work.
So anyway, but again, very early. The only reason that we brought it out is just because we really want to show people the direction we're going and get feedback and see what y'all think. But I'm really looking forward to it. And talk about the icons too a little bit because these are custom icons, right?
Yeah, we there was a sale on Affinity Designer, so we all bought Affinity Designer, which is a fantastic tool, by the way, if you're still stuck on Adobe land. The Affinity Designer can replace Illustrator quite handily.
So Illustrator and Photoshop are like the tools that have been around forever that everybody knows, but everybody hates, and the pricing is a little expensive. And then this little upstart, Affinity, comes along and makes a really nice, pretty product and prices it competitively. And I don't know, for whatever reason, I just was really drawn to that model. I thought that was really a really nice. Uh, I just had a power flicker there. So anyway, yeah. So we like Affinity, but these are all little custom icons here. We're having fun always coming up with ideas for those. So cool. All right. Well, thanks for hopping on to show the features. You're welcome, Rusty. If you want to chill longer, or if you want to drop off, either way, I'm gonna for the rest of the stream, I'm going to review post 2.4 changes, some of the stuff that's hit dev this week, and then I'm going to I think cover one of our binary ninja basics topics as well. So it's totally up to you, but I'm gonna quit this before I forget and accidentally use a test branch. We'll do that. So
Well, maybe you should do some reversing with a test branch and see if there's any bugs in it.
I did actually notice. Oh, I did notice one. Let's see if I can do it again. I didn't say anything because you were talking about something else. But oh, the fact that it doesn't open by default, by the way, too. That's just
Yes,
a
yes, there's a lot of things
yeah
that are not. Like the
little.
entire workflow of when it appears and when it goes away, maintaining it between tabs. There's going to be multiple modes where there's the always leave it with the width that I in what view I had it on, no matter if I change tabs or not, or the remember what it was for this tab, and when I switch tabs, just have my layout be the way I left the tab. Those are two like different modes, and I think people you're gonna have people who want it one way and people that want it the other,
We've been
which
arguing
means you need
internally.
a
Yeah.
setting.
Yeah. We've been arguing about that one a lot. I think the only argument really is going to be what's the right default? What do we pick for like
Yeah,
the out of the box? Because yeah, that's a good one where I
and like
think,
set there will be a setting for okay, when you open a file, what do you want as your default
yeah.
sidebar tab?
I,
For some people, it may be strings because that's where they like to start. For some people, it might be symbols. For some people, it might be types. I
yeah.
don't know.
Yep.
That's why it's a setting.
Yeah. I think that'll be, I mean, we already have like the default IL view. It's a similar kind of thing. Like different people prefer high level IL or assembly or jumping in different places. And so this is very analogous to like,
And then hopefully we'll be able to have automatic, like being able to set a split view as default. For example, you could set it to have linear disassembly and single function
mm,
a high level IL
mm-hmm.
and get a decompiler on the right. Basically your Ghidra view.
Yeah. So I think we're getting a prompt from our own team member, or Kyle actually is just legit curious, one of the two. When he says, any thoughts on how workspace support fits into the new layout?
I haven't even looked into how workspace support works yet, so I'm I don't know yet.
Yeah. It's worth pointing out too, this is Qt6 only. Everything on dev is already Qt6 only. So again, I've said this a couple times in a row, but if you are a plugin author and you have not updated your plugins for Qt6, please go do it. You are no longer compatible with the latest dev, and Next Stable will not have a Qt5 version. So
But I do know that one thing I definitely want to do is save the layout into the BNDB
yeah,
so that when you open it back up, you get your layout back because it could be customized to whatever you were working on.
yeah. Right now the layouts are like when you use the save layout functions, get serialized to the Q settings, I think. But having having it in the BNDB, I think would be a nice option. Yeah, one of the things that we've been debating, I'm curious if people in chat would consider this. Types view, you might want a little bit more real estate, right? Like, and if you're not doing C++, you probably don't need that much real estate for your symbol list. And so, the question is, do you want those to move, or would you really prefer a fixed thing so that your tabs stay in the same spot? And I do think that's going to be personal preference.
Yeah, that's the setting I was talking about earlier, was whether you maintain size or not.
Yeah. So GameMind, yeah, open BNDB, keep my yeah. Just having a global BNDB layout, I think will definitely be a setting, right? I don't know that everyone wants their BNDB every layout to change per BNDB.
So I think by default, even it will go to whatever layout you last had. So that will always be like if you open a new BNDB, you'll get the layout that you got before,
Yeah,
no matter which setting you have.
yeah, and only if you change the setting and then also go change things up a bunch every time you do a different binary, would you even notice, right? That would be the only real difference. And again, I in my mind, I think the goal is to make the default out of the box layout be such that most people won't even want to change it. They'll find themselves, oh, that works really well. I have all the things that I need. I have easy access to them. I can see the stuff I want. It fits on my monitor no matter the monitor size. Short of like if you're on dual monitor and you want to like pull everything out.
So that yeah, not if you use a collaborative BNDB and opening someone
I
else's
gotcha.
BNDB, does it change the layout? That's a very good question,
Yeah.
and we can probably like we can possibly have user specific layouts saved in it, which
Yeah.
would allow it to not. Because do
Hash it
you
on
really
serial.
want, when you're doing collab, do you really want to have conflicts on someone's window layout? Probably not.
No.
So you probably want those to be per user.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a really good point, Game Mind. I mean, it's easy enough to distinguish, but yeah. So I
Or
can't.
possibly those could even be local only and they're not really saved on the server. We don't know how that's going to work yet.
So I'll have to go back and look at the stream to see if I can find it when I did it. But at one point, I got the symbol list to show up as empty until I navigated, and then it reloaded. But I haven't been able to do it since.
You were changing tabs, which that's a workflow that isn't
Yeah.
that well tested yet.
Yeah, maybe it was between like the and this is another one to show too. Actually, if you go to the new tab, right? So there is no context for types or for cross references, and so you get a little open dialog there. But yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, that's the nice thing about having a stream. I can go back and look and see what
Now
what I did.
the sidebar does change sizes right now when you get a new tab, but that's because of the feature map over there disappearing and reappearing. That will not be an issue.
Mine was actually in this weird state where it thought it was open, but it was closed, I think. Yeah. Yeah, you can see that change there. And that's part of the other problem with the way the current doc widget system is, you know, hiding and showing doc widgets based on the new tab, or based on the plugin manager, and then based on a different view. And it's not always been as smooth as we would like. So a lot of that's it's kind of getting a fresh look. So cool. All right. Well, yeah, maybe I'll. Well, so yeah, I need to go back to latest dev, and actually I need to make sure it is actually latest dev because I think I might be just a couple commits behind. So I'll kick that off while we. Yeah, we got 4 builds extra, and then we're gonna go look at some of the. Things that just have happened in the last week. So, oh right. So this is what the store metadata was kind of a subtle one where if you that was fast. Got the update. If you use you'd only notice this because the store metadata is only exposed via the API. There's no UI that takes advantage of it. But the idea is that you can store data into a BNDB. Plugins might take advantage of this, and that's how I ran into it because the little notes plugin I was working on was doing it. But if I have store metadata and key and value, and then I close that tab, it's telling me the analysis database has changed. Previously, if I do that in the previous stable, what it would do is it would say the file has changed. And it's like, no, the file contents themselves didn't change. So if you went to save it, you didn't save the analysis database like you might expect. But that's been fixed. And so now I get a BNDB, although I think that file actually was already a BNDB. That's that one. So let's ninja there. So now if I reopen it, I can bv.query metadata key. I can get the same value that I put back into it. So that's where all the notes are going to be stored, which I think makes a lot of sense. If you're making notes, you want to have them still be there when you reopen it. So that's how that's going to work. There is this is new too. John added a documentation. If we have any, I'm trying to remember if I've seen any theme authors in the chat today, but if you look on the John, what's the name of that branch? Theme docs. Yeah, so if you look in the API repo in the theme docs branch, you'll see, and this will probably get merged pretty soon, I think. I just need to finish giving it a proofread, or if y'all have feedback on it. But the idea is just, this is a much more helpful way that if you're working on a theme, previously you just had to kind of try stuff and see what it changed or guess from the name. And this is a lot more explicit about telling you exactly what types of things a particular theme color will impact. And so John, who has been super interested in the theming and built the reflection theme that I like to use, has been going through and documenting this here. As well as, I think there's a blog post coming with this too, right? Or is it mostly this? I forget, John. Ooh, mix-ins. Yeah, describing those. I don't remember if we decided on doing a blog post or just doing like the documentation, but I think this will be nice. You know, at some point it would be great if we had a UI for it. Like you could actually pick and like a little color picker stuff, but that's a lot of work, especially because we have so many different situations where, you know, you've got your UI color, you've got if it's selected, you've got the line is selected, you've got if text is selected down here, you've got, you know, just there's so many different things where, which we actually, one of the reasons that we found this out was when we made the repository and we were taking screenshots, we would find plugins that looked really good in the screenshot because they just did those things, and you would try some other thing, and all of a sudden it would not look so good. Like these selection colors are kind of off right between the Python console and the log here, even that, because we didn't originally even have the Python console. I think we just showed the log in the first couple of sets of screenshots. So
It's actually come up in the UI refactor a little bit. Is selections are a little like they don't have the idea of focus. So when you have a sidebar with a types view and something like if you have another types view in the content area
mm-hmm.
and you select a line in both, they don't look visually distinct at all. Which one's the one with the actual focus?
Yeah.
And so we might
Huh.
have to change something in the themes for that.
Yeah, so let's reproduce that there, and let's do it over here. Yeah.
So if you're just looking at the screen and you hit N, what does it do?
Yeah, you have
Like
no
you don't
idea.
know which one is the focused one.
Yeah, if I'm here, yeah, you can't actually tell. That's a good point. And we kind of had that problem before, even with a symbol list. I just think
Yeah, it is, but it
it's
was
just
less
more.
bad
Yeah,
before we added the sidebar.
yeah,
And especially and also with side by side views, it's going to be a problem.
it's gonna be worse. Oh, that'll really, yeah, when you've got like your window pane style split views and stuff. Yeah, that'll be an important distinction. Yeah, I think we're gonna find. I mean, well, I can insert a joke here about like we could just not care. I'm sure there are plenty of things that just don't. Oh, it's ambiguous. Let the user figure it out. They can hit cancel and do it again. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to if you've written a theme and you want to give it a kind of another pass of improvement to really make it more consistent. You should check out John's upcoming blog post, which will include more kind of like a narrative description of where did it go? There we go. This is more of, you know, again, just the reference manual, but the post should have a lot of extra information. Cool. All right, let's see what else made it in this week. I guess it's been 2 weeks actually, right? So number of bugs, I think. Actually, a lot of these are tag 2.4. So yeah, it's not been a whole lot of closed issues. I think it's been pretty quiet on closing things. Most of the work has been happening, and part of the reason why, as I was looking at this, you know, as I showed earlier on the milestone list, if you look at like all of these high impact, you know, high effort kind of bugs, every one of except for, let's see, this one, it doesn't have any work done on it, and this one doesn't have any work done on it, and every other high impact bug on this list is already well underway. Like we've actually got people working on every single one of those other high impact bugs. Some of them like about to land. Some of them it's going to be a lot of work, like the UI refactor or the analysis passes. But there's a ton of this stuff that's already in progress. So there's going to be, I think, pretty fast improvements when these things start hitting. So all right, let me pull up my list of Binary Ninja basics. All right, so our choices, let's see. The part of it, I'm trying to avoid doing anything that are too UI heavy because I don't want to make a video about how to use UI features and then it turns out that the UI is all changed in a month or two. So I want to be careful about that. But the other option is we could, yeah, actually, I might just go work on some. If we had that old challenge that Fox had given us in Rusty, you could what do we call it? Pair reverse engineer, where I'm hands on keyboard, and except you can't tell me move, and take over the keyboard. You just have to tell me remotely. All right, where was the file? Let's see where that ended up. It wasn't good mode. Where was the... I don't think it was good mode. Let me see. I know this is the one that I was working on with Josh. That's so weird. Something's laggy. The very first time I bring up the file dialog, like I'll type and then it updates.
Huh.
I wonder if that's, hold on, let me actually,
That could be a VMware file share thing.
it could be, but it's defaulting to binls, so I would think not. I wonder if I test previous stable, if it does the same thing. Let's see. It's been a while since I found a good binge bug on stream. Yeah, that was immediate.
It could be Qt6 then.
I think it's a Qt6. Yeah, arguably whether that's a binge bug or not, but that feels like a... I guess I could switch to... actually, is the old Qt6 branch for the previous one even up anymore? That will go
No,
away.
those
Yeah,
are
just
gone.
all gone.
We wanted to encourage, like, if people were on it, we didn't want them to just
Yeah.
not ever get updates again. So we forced them to
Yep.
get an error.
Get on the new update channel. But yeah, so if I open binls, yeah, it's fast on that. And then actually, I think I noticed that on the 3.0 test as well. Oops, that was wrong window. Yep, sure enough, it is a laggy. Huh. All right. My money is definitely... Oh, you know what? Actually, I do have an old Qt6. Yeah, so actually, here's a good way to tell. This is an old dev build that's Qt6. Well, maybe not.
It's not Qt6.1.1 though.
This is true. Yeah, that was just 6.0. I forget which one it was.
Just have to get it under a debugger and
Yeah.
see where it's spending its time.
Yep. All right. Let's see. Okay, so I don't know where that binary is. Is Fox on the stream? If Fox is in chat, I'm sure they'll remind me which binary it was. Crazy Bomb. Thank you, GameMind. Crazy Mike, Crazy Bomb. Mixing up your handle in. Yeah, very tricky, very hard to find. Right, literally in the home folder. Okay. Yeah, let's try it. I don't remember there being much types in it, but let's try it in the new view here. I don't think we need. And there goes that, yeah. Crazy Bomb. All right, so that's right, because we had the passwords. This was the... oh, I remember where we did this. That's why I didn't have a BNDB. This was one Josh and I used collaboration on. That's why I don't have any of the changes, because we used the collaboration server, and we we were collaboratively editing it. So that's why I'm missing all of my annotations and names where we had reversed it. Let's see. So let's look at strings because it was Freeman. Yeah. Yeah. I don't remember if I have any scripts. I don't think I built these scripts. I think it was just running on the command line to to get past it. But GameMind asks, what's our typical workflow for tracking down performance bugs?
If it happens on Mac, we use Instruments, which is a fantastic tool
Yeah,
for tracking down performance bugs, but on Linux, perf is pretty normal.
we we do also have some interesting performance analytics.
That one's so slow though, you can probably just break into the debugger.
Yeah, that one I bet you could hit and then go look at the call stack. Um, so if y'all are familiar with Halvar Flake and what he has been up to, he's working on a company called Optimize, and they are, yep, it's actually it's Thomas and Sean Heelan, and they are building an optimization and efficiency analysis stack that is actually Linux based and does produce flame graphs and much better analysis. Um, it's not meant necessarily for like UI Qt type stuff. It's more meant for cloud infrastructure. And uh, I don't remember how much about what they're doing is public and whatnot. I think I mean, just the general like this is what they're doing is is definitely public. So I'm not speaking out of school, but they're they're doing some cool stuff. Oh, I did just see I got a message. Somebody's asking for analysis passes. I don't have a demo yet for analysis passes, but I'll put that on the request list for next week because I think if there's something we can demo, that would be great. That's a good suggestion. So, anyways, optimize is a bit of overkill because it's really meant for like um, uh, lots of like cloud infrastructure and like stuff that goes between Django and Python and Node, like down into native libraries and back out, and like where's your actual optimization? It's really neat. So we actually do get a fair amount of optimization ideas and performance metrics for that because we're actually using it on Binary Ninja Cloud. So everything you do on Cloud to Binary Ninja actually goes through Optimize, and so we've got a bunch of performance data that comes out of that. So that's kind of neat. Also,
And also,
oh,
we
look at
do
that.
use the same core on cloud, so we can actually get introspection
Yep.
that way.
Yeah. So like any lessons we learn from cloud in terms of like our binary analysis, we ship the improvements to every version of the product, right? It's the same analysis engine. Hey Josh, are you watching? I don't know. Is that supposed to be up or not? Yeah, I don't know. It's a little I don't remember if that was public yet or not. But look, here's a little sneak. As always, if you're watching the stream, you get a little extra tips. But that's kind of a neat button, or maybe it's there. But if you're familiar with Ret2's war game system, there's something interesting there. So anyway, all right, back to Crazy Bomb. I should take notes on this. So I'm debating whether I want to like pull up the collaboration client and connect because that'll give me all my old analysis. I hate to like redo the analysis I already did on it the first time, but I'm not sure. Maybe I'll just do it. I kind of feel like just doing another like simple RE thing just as a test of the new UI. So let me do reversing.kr and see if we can get some other challenges. I think I've done easy elf. Simple VM. I mean, that sounds like it would be a lot of work, but maybe we could start on it. And let me see if I've got to log in a different window. No, gaming. I look forward to being sidetracked. I always enjoy when somebody sidetracks me with different ideas and questions, and that's a particularly good one. All right, so see, I'm logged in over here. There's CRC custom shell. I kind of want something with a low number of points. Oh, actually, there's one called music player. Let's see what this one looks like. apparently I've already gotten it before, so let's put this in samples. Oh no, it was a big bang. Some Windows thing, so I can't run it.
Visual Basic VM.
Oh yeah, good call. That's not a good choice. Let's not do that. Image PRC. Let's see what this one is. Move to trash. Yeah, I want something a little small because the streams where I want to do like lots of reversing. Just image PRC DXE. Okay. And let Qt wake up. Oh, it is an exe, so hopefully this is not. It's funny, I was confused why I saw strings. That's like, right, because I've got a string sidebar. Definitely still not used to that. All right, well, it doesn't look like it's .NET or anything, so that's a good start.
Of course, we don't find WinMain yet.
Yeah, which is a little bit of an annoying. Rusty, you might remember more about the Windows start. It's been a while.
It's been a long time
I
since
know.
I've looked at
Windows stuff.
WinMain CRT startup or whatever that's called.
Yep. Environments. Probably not that. Actually,
that looks like a message loop. You were there.
Right in here.
There's a message
translate
loop there.
mismatch. Get, yeah.
Create window. Yeah, you're in the right spot.
All right. Window name, window style.
The class registration has the window procedure that you're looking for.
This is a pretty decent type information, actually, we're getting at least now. That's good.
Unfortunately, that does not have a structure for register class, but I'm seeing something that looks like a pointer there. The 401130. What's that? Var 24.
Where's...
Yeah, there's your window of procedure.
Yeah.
It didn't find the switch statement.
Here. Yeah.
Got some painting. Message boxes. What does that say?
Oh, it is called image PRC, right? Wrong button check.
Well, that's a good sign. That's probably where we need to look.
We want not wrong. Actually, I think I can just select all these and hit A, right? Yeah. It would be nice if it names strings the value of or some abbreviation for it by default too. When it creates it. Especially because we have default symbols.
Well, there's a string that says Georgia. I don't know what that's for, but that sounds interesting.
Is it the font or yeah?
It could be the font name.
So let's. Yeah, unfortunately, cross-reference doesn't find. Oh, it's here. Yeah, create font. It is actually the font.
Yeah.
So that's just.
Looking at the control flow around the wrong message is probably a good place to start.
Yeah, let me go back to wrong.
It's not going to the right.
Cross-reference is not right. Although I should be able to use.
It's just an HLL mapping issue.
Yeah.
It's got the right instruction. It just doesn't know where to go.
So this works at least. I have it can persistent search and get it that way. So that should be. Yeah, it's in this chunk here. Oh, right, wrong. Try to do that. So
That looks like an array
do.
that's we haven't resolved yet.
Yeah, or does that? Or no, it's actually just a counter.
No, the if statement that goes
Oh,
wrong.
yes.
The types are probably wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know which one's the pointer yet. Once we find out which one's the pointer, we can get an array out of it.
Let's see. This one. Return null pointer.
Well, it thinks it's a
Or
pointer.
that, so.
Go back to the loop. Maybe we can find out from context. Well, it's adding 1 to ECX. So that's probably an index.
Yeah.
So I would go with that being an int.
We do the I and
Or size t, probably.
yeah. Size underscore t, I thought.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Which means, oh, this is
And
interesting. It's
that,
subtracting it.
this is a place where the dereferences don't show the sizes. Go to disassembly on that if statement and see what size that is on the if statement.
Yeah, I'm just switching over to assembly view here.
Yeah.
Huh. The if is not mapping.
Oh, there's the compare. Yeah, there's bytes. So there it is
Yeah.
just make it a EAX26, make that a, well, I don't know, it's subtracting two things, which is a little weird.
Yeah. The size could actually be off at that point.
It's
Oh, here we
checking
go.
EDI to see if it's less than something, so that's some kind of counter. It starts at 0 as well, so that's definitely a counter.
Sorry, the 25 one is starting as a counter, you're saying, or which one?
EDI 3, that's your counter, because
Oh,
it
there.
starts at 0 and goes
Oops.
up to some pretty large length.
I just hit space and escape a couple times, but there we go.
But this basically looks like a mem compare.
That's a pretty big.
Oh, there's a star I. That's definite. Okay, I see what this is. I is a pointer as well.
Okay.
And this is one of those that stores the offset between the two, so we're not going to get array syntax for this.
Mm-hmm.
It's not smart enough to figure out that it's the difference between two arrays.
So, I mean,
Compilers will do this sometimes.
is this going to have me upload an image of some sort? It's going to compare it? Because it looks like it's looping over a pretty
This is,
large buffer.
yeah, this is just a mem compare of that many bytes.
Mm-hmm. So it's, yeah. Actually, interestingly, they all have the same address, but it only puts it the first one, which actually does, ironically, what I wanted.
So EAX25 appears to be coming from a lock resource.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, we don't have any resource parsing.
Yeah. Which, and it was called image PRC,
Yeah.
right? So that makes sense that it's loading some resource. Is this actually an LP name is actually a string?
Resources are weird. I think it's like marked as a pointer, but you can use it as not a pointer.
Hmm.
The question is, what is EAX21? Where is that coming from? It's coming from some function.
This is the one that returned. Yeah, I just returned this, and this was. Why did that switch to graph view when I?
I don't know.
That hold up. Is this a? Let me just try that in. Well, I want to try the current dev. I was like, am I forget like? No, let's move this to 3. Wait, what's going on? Command Shift 3. Oh, 13. There we go. I don't know what hotkey was hidden before. Okay, so let's go to that offset and Control Shift A to copy the address. Open the same file and go to the same address. Yeah, interesting. Hey, that was the goal. We wanted to see if I could find a bug by using the new version. But it might also be, let's just see if we bring up reflection too, if we can get that to behave the same way.
Oh yeah, that could be reflection doing that.
So we've got this selected.
No.
That would appear to be right. Again.
Try closing reflection and try it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Don't really want the feature map up either. Huh.
No. Hit space twice here and then do it.
Ah. Huh.
It lost context somehow. I don't know how.
Yeah. Well, the nice thing is, we can go back in the VOD. You can watch what we did. Oh, Dustin's commenting, get DI bits loads pixels, comparing user input as pixel data to a resource of an image.
That's a fair guess.
Yeah.
I didn't see the call to that.
Yeah, I did see something about get DI bits. Where am I going here?
Oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah, these two right
yeah,
here.
and it's calling on EAX21.
These
Yeah,
pointers.
that might literally be a heap allocation there.
Actually, where
that
am
probably is a heap allocation.
Yeah, those references are not doing what I want. Well,
yeah, this one is definitely messing with the mappings to HLIL.
Yeah, it's a good test case. That one's not. That's not the right address. Why is that? Oops. So if I (40) 132A. Yeah, just navigating to that address in.
Yeah, there's something broken in the navigator.
Well,
I think it's
also,
mostly the navigation that's messed up.
Yeah, but it could also just be that address doesn't actually appear. It's getting folded into something else.
There's a lot of
right.
complexity to linear view navigation. There's probably a bug.
Yeah. Yeah, rectangle. Is this the same?
No, that's not the same spot where we were at.
It was just, yeah, it's just a list of pointers, but they're not the same.
It's lower. We were looking at the get DI bits call.
Oh, yeah. Right here, right. It's the same pointer though. Yeah, it is the same pointer.
So I don't know what var 54 is, but it says it's not. It's uninitialized.
Interesting.
So maybe that's not actually a parameter.
So where's the call to go? Sorry, where's the call to get DI bits? Delivery force lock resource. So is this actually DI bits? And it's being resolved by something else?
Yeah, that happens all the time on Windows. They'll load it into a register first and then call it.
How nice of HLL to do it for me. Next to last parameter is the bitmap. So, well, get DI bits. We should look at the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to make sure we have the right number of arguments. Yep. So then there's the bitmap. Oh, good. It's a bitmap that says 28.
It's probably a structure that's not
Yeah.
marked up.
Actually, yeah. What is
Just
the...
grab the structure. Although I think this is a pretty big structure.
It's going to require getting all these other recursive types. Yeah, this is where our we need. Yeah, I'm not
Well, you
gonna.
could just grab the header and mark it as a header.
Oh, the whole file, the WinGDI.h, you mean, or?
No, just grab this structure here and
Oh, gotcha.
because the rest of
Yeah.
it's just the color data, so
Yep.
we can just
It wouldn't do as much
deal
good.
with
That's a
it.
good point. All right, so create new structure.
I see you got habits and that you didn't use the sidebar.
That's right. Hold on. Let me break it. Let me break it. Well, that's a good question. Should like the T hotkey? I think it's one of the questions.
Yeah, there needs to be hotkeys for all of the
Yeah, but like
sidebars,
should T
and
go?
T should actually activate the types sidebar and
Right,
focus it,
right. So
but it does not.
do that by default, and then like Shift T or something maybe does the type view.
The normal thing you want to do is not have types in the middle because that's interfering with your workflow.
All right, so let's put a new one in. And what's the
I have
name?
no idea if this is going to parse.
Let's find out.
No, I don't think it likes that kind of type def. So just take out the type def and make it bitmap info header. Just get rid of all the
All
type
those,
defs.
yeah. All right.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, so now we can, oh, where we go?
Now it's bar 68. Just type it as one of those.
Yeah.
See if it works.
That was the wrong button. I hit S instead of Y. Okay, yeah,
That looks a
so
little better.
size image, yeah.
Bit count is 24, which makes sense.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Yeah, this one I've never seen everything.
This looks
Compression.
good.
Mm-hmm. All right, so now what did this one do here? And wait, it took the size. What was the size? Just a D word?
Oh, that's
No,
why
yeah,
it was
size
getting
image.
confused, is because it was a structure reference. That's why it didn't know what was going on.
Oh, right. Instead of it just saw the base of 28 or whatever it was. All right, so we've got a D word image size. So this is, well, I'm gonna look at it. It just wraps this. Passes in the image size and a
I
1.
really do think it's just a malloc.
Yeah, it's heap alloc. There it is. Psychic debugging. All right. So I don't know what the 1 is there, like something with the allocator, but call it. All right. So this is going to be our image dest. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it's comparing the image bits with the resource.
And so the image that we give it, how we was, what is our input like coming in at? Was it a file that we give it? I can actually see how we got that.
I don't know where it's coming from.
Yeah, we'd have to like, it'd be easier to run it probably just to see what the UI is, what it's actually asking for, because there's something.
Here's a create bitmap.
Okay, compatible. Okay. Let's
Oh,
get
and it's
DC.
drawing to it with rectangles.
Is it
And
asking
font.
you to like recreate a, like it's drawing a bitmap and then you have to like, so if you break point after it's drawn that bitmap data, you dump it back out and then you feed it that back in and it's going to compare it maybe?
I'm not sure yet.
This is definitely one that would be easier if I just ran it in a VM, probably.
Yeah, this would be a lot easier with some static and dynamic together.
Yeah, a combination of that. Maybe I'll revisit this one on a future stream when we have our native
Yeah, getting
debugger.
debugger with Windows would
Yeah,
and debugging this would be a great stream because this one calls for a debugger.
yeah. Especially uh, not even having like Visual Studio Code to be able to like quickly check a lot of the references, having to go. I feel like it's faster to do it there
But
than it
this
is
is
to do it.
definitely a good test case for trying to navigate the cross references because it
Yeah,
definitely breaks.
we lost a couple of cross references, but I think the decompilation actually did pretty good. Missed the switch,
Yeah, that
but the
there's
results are
some
pretty
weird
clean.
stuff in there. The setting of width and height down there doesn't it doesn't know what those are. But if you look up, you see a get object A
Uh-huh.
and passing var 80, that's a structure. Go figure out what that is.
Oh, yeah, yeah. There's MSDN. Thank you. Very helpful, Microsoft.
Oh, great. A p void. What is it?
HC and PV, a pointer
Object
node.
type data written to buffer. So it's polymorphic. We don't actually know what it is. It's probably a bitmap. Click on bitmap.
Yeah,
Width and height is in there. So yeah, just copy
take
that
this one.
structure and
Yeah.
make it one of those.
All right. So we're going to use, oops, wrong window. We're going to use this again. We're going to insert I to insert a type here. Get rid of our So we've got a bitmap, and we're going to set bitmap, bitmap, VM, whatever.
Yeah. BM width, BM height. Yeah, that looks good. So that is what it is. So it's just setting it to the size of the bitmap.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty simple what that's doing to verify. It's just comparing the images
Mm-hmm.
of that bitmap.
Yeah. I guess as the intended solution is to,
Now pulling out that resource would be very helpful to see what it's trying to compare it to.
I wonder if, do I have Kaitai? I wonder if Kaitai can parse out resources.
It may be able to.
That seems like the kind of thing it might do. And, oh, I didn't click just enable. Okay. So if I switch off this and I switch over to, no, I think I have to restart.
Yeah, I think you need to save a database and then.
Yes, that's a good point. Yep. Let's restart it. Oh, and I got two. Two for the price of one. I may have hit the hotkey at the same time.
Oh, you canceled the first one and then did
Oh,
it
yes,
again.
yes. Cancel. It's a known
That's a nice
bug.
bug.
It's a known bug that cancel actually will do it anyways, I think, or it queues up a restart anyways, even if you cancel it. I think
That's a fun bug.
there's a bug on that one. It's like relatively rare. Restart's not even in the menus. You have to trigger a command palette in the first place, I think, even. All right, so do I have Kaitai? Did it not load? Hold on.
I think you have to go to the raw view to do that. Or I don't know how this works.
Yes, indeed. There it is. It's been a while since I used this. Okay. So we've got a cough header, optional headers, Windows. I don't know where resources live.
It's in a resource section. Not that. You want to look for the resource section. Go down into more sections. There's going to be a resource section in one of those.
Oh, right here. Resource. Name, resource.
Yeah. So did it get that?
It doesn't
No, it
parse
just has
it.
a bug.
Yeah, it just knows that there's resources in there. So close. Doesn't get us all the way in. Yeah, we could use something else to extract the resources of it.
I mean, you could just get one of those resource editors and pull it out.
Yeah. Actually, you know, it's interesting. It is actually kind of nice with Kaitai because you can see it's like that's it. That's the body of the
Yeah,
resource.
you
It's
can kind of
mostly,
see where the image data probably is. It's
yeah,
probably all those.
it's all black. Then there's going to be, oh no. I wonder again, I bet it's taking basically like an empty image. Oh no,
No, there's
there it
bits in
is.
there.
There's bits in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's an image in there.
That's it. Yeah. But I wonder if it's just
So you could
extracted and feed it in.
actually, if you could figure out where the bitmap header starts, you could probably just actually try this. Just get the slicing tools and pull out the bitmap. It probably finds it. There's a bitmap header in there. No, like
Okay.
the
Oh,
command line one, whatever one. I haven't
bin
used it in
walk.
so long. I don't remember the name.
Bit.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. I might already even have it on this thing.
Wow, it's an apt now.
I got everything. Quick, get your oof. Okay, so this is good because the other day I tried to install something from apt and the Microsoft package server was completely hung, and because I installed Visual Studio Code, like it would die every time my apps installed something. It was kind of annoying. All right, so samples, bin walk, image exe. Very helpful, bin walk.
Yeah, we know it's an executable, but where's the bitmap?
I mean, I can give it the offset of the resource, right? Or at least close to it. Actually, that doesn't look like a bitmap header, so I wonder if it.
I don't know how they look in the actual resources when you might have to reconstruct the header.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've actually looked at how it's represented in the file. But you can clearly see the bits in there.
Yeah, when you scroll down, you can actually get the. Actually, you know what? Here, the other thing is I want to see. This is actually a good argument for feature map. I'm curious whether. Actually, here's so this is byte 9000 hex. So if I switch back to just hex editor and go to 9000, there's the data. And yeah, actually it looks better here because this one has the gradient on it.
You can set that to intense mode.
Yeah, exactly. So contrast high. Oh, that's not what I want. Well, it is. I just want it on, not color highlight. I want no highlight, and I want background is by it is byte value. Why are the zeros showing up as?
Did this break?
I wonder if that's a Qt breakage. Yeah, only normal.
No, it looks correct there.
With normal, yeah.
But on high contrast, it doesn't work anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Or wait a minute, try switching themes.
Uh-oh. Could be. I'm not gonna restart it. Oh no, is John still on? All right, let's see. Uh-oh, that's it. Uh-oh, John, you got a bug fix for your theme. Yeah, so that's his theme issue. Yeah, so there's our image data. Actually, I would, so if this were a CTF, I would actually do this. Is it current selection? No. Oh, current selection is that the start and the end, but I don't have the whole thing. Oh, that's right, because that's not actually selected. So, well, whatever. I know the start and the end address. So I can instead just do, and actually if I do BV here, yeah, I do get the raw view. That's nice. So I can do bv.read. Image data is equal to bv.read from there, and then it's here minus there. I think it's total start and length. So if I select there, or let's get one more. Let's get to the end. Why not? All right, so
So we know what length it's supposed to be
oh,
because
that's a
that's
good
in the
point too.
binary.
That looks similar. That looks similar. Where's our loop? Down here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
very
it.
close.
That's definitely it. Yeah, and if there's header data at the beginning,
Yeah.
that's all that is. That's exactly the difference. So that is the image.
So now we just need to know what the width and height is, which would be wherever it were created, the bitmap would probably have that data. Create compatible bitmap up at the top of the
Oh,
screen. It has two arguments.
oh,
Those are
there it
probably
is.
width and height.
Those look kind of small.
Multiply those together and convert it to hex. And multiply it by 3
Yeah,
because
for
it's
depth.
RGB.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yep.
that's it. So those are now I think so outs actually let me think. Could I just do this? pv.write 0 image data? Huh. I never thought about doing
Yeah.
that. I mean I could have just stayed right
So
with
trim
Python.
off everything that's not F's there.
What's the yeah.
Just delete it. It's obviously not part of the image.
I'm just curious if that worked hex 40. I think that's yeah, should be hex 40 or
Easy.
60. Okay.
You can easily undo it if it doesn't work.
That's true. Oops. All right,
Go
so
to the
let's
end.
save.
Go to the end first. Yeah.
That's the
Delete
right
all
length,
those zeros. It's the right
isn't
length.
it?
So
Oh, without that. Yep. All right, raw image. Samples. Can I not do that?
not in a. You don't have a file name. It doesn't know where to store that.
Oh, so I guess I'm just used to Mac where I can type the direct. Oh, I mean I started in here. That's why. I tried to do this. Yeah, that worked. It was just because I was in a different subfolder than I thought I was. All right.
So getting this as an actual bitmap,
I think you can PBM.
can you need something that can take raw images with a width and a height and convert it to something.
I think net PBM lets you just be like, this is image data. Well, that's the text version.
And no, it's not quite like I think GIMP can do it. Not that I like GIMP, but
No, it's not gonna raw photos is not what I want.
no.
Yes and no, that is not.
You can probably do it with the image magic too,
Oh
but
yeah,
I don't
image
know the
magic is
command
the way to
line
do
for
it.
it.
I've done that with image magic before. All right, let's do here. GIMP. Oh, that's fancy. I haven't seen GIMP in a while. All right.
It definitely looks nicer than it used to.
Right? Is it raw image or raw image? It's raw image. In today's inconsistent Linux UIs, I can't hit enter on that dialog that pops up. Oh, wait, I can? I couldn't hit space before? There was one. No, okay, that's weird.
I think you got just a slash, which is not a valid path.
Yeah. Okay, it's not starting here.
Go to, yeah, it's not automatically detected is probably not what you want here.
Yep. All right, now do I
So deselect,
specify?
you need to select file type
Yeah.
and there should be a raw somewhere.
Let's just go to the R's. Raw. Oh, this. Well, again, that's the wrong kind of raw. Well, it's photo
Raw image data.
data.
Yeah,
Ooh, it doesn't
and
let me
it
specify.
should
Oh, there it
prompt you
is. Okay.
for RGB
Yep.
and width and height we can grab from the call.
Was
convert those to decimal.
There. Thanks, Python. 200 by 150.
Okay.
Okay, so 200. Oh, look, you can already see it. Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
200. Oh.
Yeah. So that's the image you got to reproduce.
Is that TO? Well, and if they're, yeah, it is nice that it gets you just RGB like by default, and that's pretty much it.
Oh, and bitmaps are upside down, so to
Yeah.
actually go do a vertical flip, these are stored upside down for some weird reason.
Image transform flip vertically. God, oh, it is a GOT. Okay. I suspect though that the drawing they're doing on top of it is something else as well too. Like
Yeah,
right, like I
that's the
think they're.
challenge, is figuring out how we're supposed to reproduce that image.
But again, I just think you're supposed to like wait till they're done rendering it, and then before they actually get the bits out of it, like breakpoint in execution, dump the image data. But I also still don't see how they.
Well, it's pretty easy to just reverse it out.
That's true.
Because load resource, that's read only. It can't change that very easily unless there's like,
Well, but like this rectangle drawing that it's doing on top of it, like.
yeah.
And what does this create compatible
There's
DC?
also this weird create window in the middle of it too. That's just a way to paint to a bitmap.
Okay. Oops. Wrong one. Where'd it go? Which one was it doing? I was doing this when I switched back accidentally. So this window. Where's the single pointers? Button and check. Okay, so there's a check button on this dialog, which presumably is going to
This
get.
is probably the init function, honestly, because it's going to want that bitmap.
Yeah.
Just name that bitmap, the create compatible bitmap, the result of that, just
Yeah.
name that so you can get the references to that.
And then, yeah. Here's another nice thing. I saw somebody reversing something else last night with a different tool, which I shall not name. Windows 11 looks odd, but it's got a good colors palette. I assume you're. Oh, Douglas took away the message. I didn't see it in time. I was slow in reading chat. Where they were fighting the type parser because they couldn't name things the same thing, and I got me excited about our relatively recent change where you're more than welcome to name things the same thing.
So I have a feeling that that rectangle is just clearing out the bitmap on startup, probably with white.
Yeah, but it's not the
This is
same.
probably the initializer.
But it's not the same width and height as the.
That doesn't matter. If it's bigger, it'll just clip it.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
That's just the DC. Yeah, that's just drawing to it.
Okay.
Whatever the default pen is,
Yeah.
which is usually window color, I think. So it's
they.
probably going to draw white to it.
So then there's the fonts. Yeah, we do still need like the merge variable.
Well, I mean,
Although,
one's a global and one's a local, so
yeah, that's true.
you can't really merge those.
So yeah, that one's in
Now, what
that
it
list
should be
here. Yeah.
doing is just that should just be inlined. It's not used anywhere else.
That's a good point. Like right here. Yeah.
I don't know why it's not inlining that. Probably because memory can be written to in the middle of it or something. Oh,
Yeah.
it's writing to memory, so it doesn't know. That's why.
Okay.
It can't fold that because it's writing to memory before it's used. And we don't have a fine-grained enough memory analysis to know that it's safe to just fold that.
This doesn't look right here. The
That's just a
message
message.
of,
No, it's just an integer. It's an enumeration. We don't have that enumeration defined.
oh, I thought that was the actual string.
No,
Okay,
that's probably just like a set font or something.
I gotcha.
You could probably look up send
Send
message
message A,
and
yeah.
tell what that value is. System defined messages. There was a
Yep.
it may be kind of hard to find
Yeah,
it.
it's not going to give us the actual values. Oops. We could do. Oops. Actually, that
Yeah, this will work.
probably is it. Set. Yeah, it is set font. Yep.
Oh, they got a big N paint down there, but that's not on the.
It's the same image size there.
You want it to select the object first. We need to see where it's drawing to the bitmap.
There's no hotkey for just doing between different integer values, is there?
I think you can assign one if you want one.
Let's well, but I kind of want to like a cycle like I. Is I anything else currently? Yeah, IL. That's unfortunate. But I did keep my place, so yay for the navigation tracking. And what
Oh,
else?
that's just drawing the bitmap to the screen
Okay.
so that you can see it. I wonder if you're literally supposed to. Is this like a painting tool where you click on the window and paint that?
And they just compare it after you're done.
And we just act in the challenge is to like automate it.
Huh. I mean, in which case it's
If we can
still.
find where it's drawing to the bitmap, we can find out if that's true or not.
Let's see. We've got.
Look for. I'm trying to remember what the call would be to activate that. Go back up to the initializer.
I can look at all the imports.
That's what I'm trying to get. Go back up to the initializer. Where it initialized the bitmap.
Wait. What am I fighting? Reflection. Okay, go away. See this is why I don't like dock widgets. Right there. That's what I wouldn't have had to do. All right.
Select object. That's the one that we want to look for.
Only 2 calls. Ugh. That is unfortunate. I mean, I can.
Well, there's a move to and a line to. That's a little suspicious.
Oh, I missed that. Line 2. There we go. Oh.
Oh, I wonder. It could also be taking what's on the screen and putting it in the bitmap as well. That's potentially what they're doing. So what is window message 200 hex? Mouse. Yep.
Mouse first.
That's what I kind of thought. I think you're supposed to draw that with the mouse.
Don't miss, because they're gonna compare it byte for byte. Yeah. So I think the general. Yeah. I mean, I could throw these in. Well, not in this format, but if with a regex, I could throw those into an enum.
It's not really formatted well for that.
No. Can you please please paste. Did I not copy? I did. All right. That's what a regex is for. What do I want the actual?
I mean, it's plenty easy enough to branch jam this to get the right answer.
Well, yeah. I mean, that actually might also just be allowed. I don't know. What was the original? Let's see. This one was called image. I don't even think they tell you. No, you click on the challenge, and they're like, "Here's the points. Here's the solution." Unless they use the image data like to calculate a flag or something like that.
I don't know how you're supposed to submit a solution if you're supposed to
I
submit something that
no,
literally
I think it's
creates a
standalone.
process and then sends messages to it.
No, I think this is standalone, and I think this here is gonna like validate the no. I don't remember. I don't think I actually identify those yet. Just trying to look for something else. Wow, this is a lot of. This looks like cleanup.
Oh, heat free. This is free,
Yeah,
probably.
yeah. I think that's just. Um, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's freeing what was allocated up
Oh,
above.
right. This is not the. This is just the like the event handling on that particular window, right? It's not like
Yeah,
there's the separate checker, which is actually going to determine whether it's correct or not. This. I actually really. Oh, wait a minute. That's not free then.
that yeah, that can't be free.
What is that? Two args, one's thrown away. Hold on.
That's definitely not free then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would unname that. That's not, there's no way that can be free.
Uh. Could no. Yeah, you would. There's no way you'd be able to free immediately on the return of the message box. Oh yeah, so this is wrong. Wait, hold on. Actually here, so this is our while loop here.
This might just be a bad parameter detection situation.
Yeah. Well,
Because it's just pushing ESI and calling that.
yeah. I think it is still free.
So just specifically type it in its standard call. Oh yeah, this call is not right. That's why.
Yeah. Do I have to change it or will it default to it if I just remove it?
Default would be something that would be correct. So
Right.
yeah. No.
It really still wants that.
Yeah, just put it, mark it standard call then. Or just use the new
Oh
function edit
yeah.
dialog.
Yeah. Oops, I hit escape too many times. You know what? I think if I could do forward right. Yeah. That's a good point. So edit function properties. And that's much better. Standard call. Apply. Wait a minute. Well, it's standard call.
Reanalyze this function.
Oh,
It might have just,
yeah.
there's still some bugs there.
It did not. Yeah, it didn't actually do that when so it still doesn't. Did it have the right number of arguments? That may be why too. Yeah, I don't think it has two arguments.
Now it says this call again.
Uh-oh. Do we have a bug in our calling convention changing? Actually, Josh is asking me if my binge is up to date. This is 2872.
Oh, this is the sidebar. No, this isn't
No,
sidebar.
no, no, no. This
Never
is
mind.
2872's latest. Should be latest dev. Yeah, that's the latest. This is latest dev, and it did not. I wonder if it's no edit functional properties. So why did when I reanalyzed it, did it maybe not? I wonder if I
And
reanalyze
take
it
away
now.
that extra parameter too.
Yeah, that I think that's why it wasn't folding it right. I think that's the main thing there. Why would it not let me do that here? Oh no, it uses the standard call. Is that not parsing? That's not great. All right, edits and oh, can I not adjust arguments?
No, not from here.
Hmm. I wonder if, well, so let's do this. Oh, wait a minute. That fixed it. Yeah. Wait.
Well, it's got the
No.
extra parameter, but
It has extra
it did get
parameter,
rid
but
of
it did.
the issue.
Yeah. So I still.
Just take away standard call for now.
Yeah.
And then go in there.
And now.
Go
What?
into the function.
Oh,
I
sorry.
think this is broken. I think you're editing the parent function.
Oh, okay. Oh, I gotcha. That was user error, sort of.
Now it should be correct.
Yes, now it is correct. Okay, so no, I think that is the problem is.
But standard call not parsing is a bug.
Yeah, and that is free.
That is definitely free because that thing was allocated earlier.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I need to get kids dinner. We're coming up on the end of time. Ryan says, shouldn't it be sea deckle? I don't actually know.
You'd have to look at it and see if its collar cleans up or not. I don't think I saw a cleanup, but then again, the C library should be.
Yeah.
Oh no, it is
It
free.
is.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
right.
Yep. Which might have thrown off some. It looks like the call stack analysis didn't get thrown off. There was anything afterwards that. I don't think so, anyways. It was wrong, but I do like our multiple annotations there. It's nice.
I still don't know what the win condition is yet. If you pass that check, what does it actually do?
Returns 0.
It returns 0 in both cases. So I don't know what that's actually doing.
Yeah. And this also returns 0. If it tells you, so is this anytime the byte data is not equal, it just bails early on, and then keeps walking through it. How is? Hold on, let's go look at that. Is there something we're missing in decompilation? So it's yeah. Here's our loop. We don't want to go down wrong. We've successfully fallen out here. We free and we return. There's nothing. Yeah. There's nothing there. Hold on. Okay, so this is not. There's something else that checks it then. Is oops. Right. Correct. success. Yeah, so wherever the actual check is that validates it. I mean, I think this is enough to solve it if we use a debugger and we set a breakpoint and we turn this comparison into a copy. Actually, we could probably just patch it to do that and run it.
I also don't know how to trigger this code path either.
Well, I think this is there was a check button earlier on.
Oh yeah.
So I imagine that does it, but I think the one way to solve it would be, let's see, where is this one? Right, so this is where it says wrong, the comparison here. So if you did a little code cave here, where you just did a move, or actually rewrite the whole thing with a rep move SD or SB for the length of it from one to the other, and then returned, then whatever other validation it does would pass. Because I think the validation is just going to happen somewhere else, I assume. I like that you can see the image data.
No, I honestly don't know what they're like. You're supposed to submit to get points for this one.
So I don't think. Oh yeah, that's a hold on. Challenges. Like I'm on the web page, and when you click the challenge, like it just starts to download directly. It doesn't like tell you auth. Enter the flag. How does it know which? I guess every challenge has a unique flag, and it's all self-contained. So there's a flag in the file, and it's going to generate for you. Hey Fox, welcome. I debated working on Crazy Bomb again earlier, but we've been off doing some other reversing.care challenges instead. So we're living in Windows land for now. It's been a fun test. Try got. Oh, as the flag? No, there's no way. That would be. Oh my goodness.
Was that really the answer?
Yeah, we've been done for like an hour. Oh. Yeah, thank you, Dustin. That was literally it. We were like, looking into like all these other stuff and assuming there's more. Yeah, I forgot this is a 120 point challenge.
We were done when we did the GIMP thing.
Yeah. I mean, I do like though that we did it purely statically as opposed to doing
we did
kind of
no dynamic. That was pretty cool.
It's always a little bit more fun if you do that. That's hilarious. Yeah. So literally just extract the resource. I don't know what else. Who knows? Who knows what it's doing, or what the normal way you're supposed to do it is. I can't believe they literally have a flag that's 3 characters, and that's it. That's mildly unfulfilling, but I'll take it. I think that is my first points in reversing.care. It's the first time I've actually ever submitted a flag. I've solved a few other ones and never actually submitted them. All right. I don't even think it says
no, it
success.
doesn't say anything. The lack of wrong is when you know you got it right.
Yeah. Yeah, it just doesn't. From here, anyways, it doesn't say anything at all.
And we checked the disassembly. The decompilation is correct here.
There's only one call to message box A in the whole binary, and it says wrong. Like, that's it. Fox, you should join the Benja Slack in I think it's the off-topic channel. There's somebody who's been working on some game hacking stuff. He's not using Miner Ninja as far as I know, but he's building some in-memory patching and been playing with some stuff like that. So there's definitely some folks interested in that. But yeah, all right. Well, we saw the challenge, and I think we got. Really, I think there's the one main bug is the just better mapping and navigation. There was a couple of annoying parts trying to go from one place to another all via high level IL that it lost me. That was
Yeah,
frustrating.
the cross-reference bug
Yeah,
was the problem.
yeah.
The structures worked fine.
Structures worked well. Creating just a couple of minimal structures got us pretty good clean decompilation there. Um, and we could have done even more by adding
Although a
kind of more
type
types.
library that knew that those types were already there would have been much nicer.
Josh, I think that not parsing standard call. I think the issue there was I clicked on the function and then right clicked on it, expecting edit function properties to change that. Yeah, that's exactly the bug. Notice this is get di bits, and if I right click on it and choose edit function
Yeah,
properties, that's
it's
not
not
what I'm
context
changing.
aware.
Yeah,
It's changing the function you're in. It's not
right.
context aware if you have a token selected.
It's doing this function. Well, wherever it is, this function is what's getting changed. That's also why this went standard call when it may not have been before. It may have been, who knows if it was
I
CDEC
think
or
that actually is standard call, so that's
that
correct.
one's actually
It's
okay.
a window
Yeah.
procedure.
Pushing Y on a standard call function doesn't parse. Oh yes, that is a bug. That right there is a bug.
Yeah.
That's a good point, Josh. Thank you. Um, but is it supposed to be? What was the So if I change it to fast call, the annotation was different. Yeah, see, it was like in a string before when it did its own analysis. Hold on, let
That's
me.
for this call.
Was it
Because it does
just
that.
this
Because
call is the only one that does it?
there's no keyword for that.
Okay, all right, never mind. So that's not the right. Yeah, convention.
If you put standard call in there, it might work.
That's what I want to try. Oops. Oh, that's not gonna parse. Huh.
No, it doesn't like that either.
Is it just that? Yeah.
I think calling convention parsing is broken.
That feels like a regression though. Like that doesn't seem like it's been that way the whole time. But I don't know.
At least there's a workaround.
Yeah, thank goodness we have the UI for it. Right. Um Yeah, I think the cross-reference navigation like has just bumped up in my mind in terms of like higher priority for future fixes. I think that needs to be, although that's not like a quick fix, right? That's like a plumb through more robust mappings.
I don't think the
Lots of places.
mappings are the problem here. The mappings
Oh,
look
you're right. It
fine.
was navigation
Linear view navigation
was
is
failing.
go
Yeah.
to graph view and try it.
That's a good test. See, what was one of the functions that we tried it on?
It's this function. This function is the problem.
The cross references to this one?
No, just anything that's referred multiple times in this function
Okay, all right, fair.
will
So
work.
yeah, let's. Of course, I'm finding ones that are not. How are
I
these all
think you
only called
need
one?
to look at data variables.
Yeah, there we go.
Instead of
This one
functions.
gets used a lot. All right, so this one, and actually here, so go graph mode. Here, select it. No. No. Hold on, just for kicks. Let's try this. Copy address. Control Shift A as copy address is one of my favorite things to do. Yeah, that's the same wrong one. Okay. So it's that's the same behavior we were seeing before. It could only take us to those two spots.
Just for sanity, just go to disassembly.
Sure. And make sure that works.
It navigates.
Yeah, it does. It did. Yeah, I did that once when
it's
I was
just an IL view that it gets, and it even gets confused on graph view, which is weird.
That is unusual. So low level's fine. Medium level is fine. It is just high level. Yeah. All right. Well, hey, we've got a good sample for that then. I don't know if that's. Oh, yeah. I don't think it's working anymore, Dustin. I think it's still busted. It goes to 2 locations. There's only 2 spots where it's this one, and everything else goes to that address. Yeah. I don't know why that is. It's just a navigation bug. All right. Well, I think we can file that one separately then. That's yeah. I'll go ahead and do that. Hey, welcome, Jono. No worries. Yeah, you can go. You can catch up the VOD. If you got any questions, ask them now before we hop off. I'm the one providing dinner for the kids tonight, so I gotta hop off here now. But we did pizza last night, so I can't even do pizza tonight. Usually it's pizza night on Fridays, so I'll have to actually like make food or something, I think. But thanks again, everybody, for hanging out. Glad we could show off the. Oh yeah, here I'll show you real briefly while we tune out, John. But we did the Binary Ninja 3.0 UI preview. So we'll let up in there. Oops, that's not the right. Oh, that'll work. Sure. So you can see the new little sidebar and ignore this stuff down here too. But 2 a.m. Oof. Well, thanks for staying up. Why am I getting all these alerts? All right. So yeah, sidebar lets you see symbols, types, new filter boxes, all sorts of neat stuff. Go check out the VOD. Thanks everybody for staying up if it was late for you. Thanks for chilling with us if it was still work time for you. Look forward to seeing everybody in a couple weeks. And like I said, we did get a request for analysis passes next week. I make no promises. We'll see if there's something we can show off by then or not. But I am looking forward to showing it off when it's ready. And in the meantime, thanks, Rusty, for hanging out on stream. I vastly prefer reversing with Rusty to tell me what to do. It is a lot more fun since he is a much better reverse engineer than me. So
it's actually been a really long time too.
Right? Like, I mean, it was the last time you actually did like a CTF challenge, or we definitely need to.
It's been a bit.
We should do like a company all hands where everybody watches one person drive and we take turns driving for like a challenge like every now and then. I think that would be really fun. We start to ramp up and get harder challenges and just get a whole bunch of people. We should do that. It's like a social hour. So cool. All right. Yeah. See, Josh, you've been like the most helpful one about joining on, and are you just saying, oh no, because you don't want to be the one on keyboard? But yep, it was good chilling, everybody. We will catch you in a couple weeks, and we'll see what we got in store for you then. But take care, everybody.